What's going on, guys? It's Zach back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be harping on a subject that we've talked a lot about on this channel in the last couple of videos, which is acceptance and releasing from the tension and just allowing things to be as they are. So I'm making this video because I had a conversation the other week with my friend who was explaining to me a challenge that he's going through with his home. And that challenge was essentially that there's black mold in his house. Now, for those of you that have ever lived with or around black mold, you know that it is a very mentally and physically challenging experience. It can make you feel physically ill, but more than anything, it really makes you feel like your mind is kind of out of your control. So whether that's getting regular headaches, whether that's just feeling moody, irritable, and I talk a lot on this channel about the concept of empowered thinking versus disempowered thinking. And when you are experiencing these kind of external mental health crises, a lot of the time it just defaults your state to the disempowered state of mind. And so I think that this is a really good topic to, discuss, basically because I think that generally we talk in this community about your mind being something that is always in your control, right? You always have the ability to think and choose feelings that are desirable or that are in line with the most empowered version of yourself. And sometimes that's just not the case. In one of my last videos, I mentioned the three modalities of change, right? And so the first modality of change is by shifting the external world. So going to a new environment, choosing new people to surround yourself with, choosing new habit patterns as far as action. Maybe that's a new set of workouts or a new set of diet-related patterns that you're going out and doing. All of these are things that you're going out into the world and doing, right? Rather than seeking the change within first. Maybe you do seek the change within first and then those habits shift subsequently, and I think that's the best way to go about things. But the bottom line here is that you are actually making force-based change in the world. And by force-based, I just mean literally going out and physically doing something. Now, the second modality is one that I have always considered to be the most powerful up until recently, which is changing the mental conversation. Now, when it comes to shifting anything in our life and getting real lasting change from it, the mental conversation does need to shift. And by mental conversation, just going back to that state of, empowered state of thinking versus disempowered state of thinking. Are your thoughts in line with the version of the reality you're trying to create? Whether that's you as a person, whether that's the external world, you have to go within first and figure out, right? Is my thinking in line with this, empowered state of being? Or is it in line with a disempowered state of being? Am I thinking optimistically, hopefully, seeing a lot of opportunity? Or am I constantly seeing the challenges, seeing the limitations, right? That's something to be conscious of. And that's something that does inevitably need to shift with any kind of progress that you're making in life. Now, the concept that I have struggled with a lot in my life, and I see a lot of people struggling with, and especially in the spiritual community, is the concept of acceptance, right? We think that we're doing these internal shifts. We are making these practices part of our habits, as far as meditation or scripting or mental conversation adjustment. We are doing these things to get an outside world result, right? We want to manifest an X-Pac. We want to have more financial freedom. We want a career or a business shift that is propelling our life to the highest level. But we're doing the internal work to get these external world results. And I think what a lot of us forget is that this can be a form of resistance in and of itself, right? And so what is the most powerful first step, right? To find that balance, to find that clarity, rather than going out and, forcing these changes and trying to manipulate everything, why don't we first accept the way that things are, right? Why don't we first release from the tension? And so I thought this example of, my friend's situation was so powerful because this is an example of him not really being in control, right? There's nothing that he could have gone out and done differently, right? He was practicing his meditation just as much, if not more, because of this experience. He was practicing mindfulness journaling just as much, if not more, because of this experience, right? He was eating healthier. He was exercising more, and yet still nothing was changing. And when we find ourselves in this position where we're not seeing a lot of change, a lot of times what does happen is we try even harder, right? We think, oh, I need to meditate even harder. Right? What does that even mean? Oh, I need to, be more mindful. What does that even mean? Right? Once you have found awareness, once you have allowed awareness, right? There is nothing else to do. It just is be, right? It's become aware and watch as things shift because you now realize that you are the operant power and all things do come from within. And so listening to his experience, I was reminded, once again that the most powerful thing that we can do sometimes is just allow. is just realize that we can't move things, right? We can't manipulate things and we cannot change things. And by allowing this, we are ultimately, by giving up the power, a lot of the time what we're doing is accepting the ultimate power. And I know this is kind of paradoxical, and I think there's a video that I'm going to make in the near future about being the all versus being the individual. I think that's something that a lot of people ask me about on a regular basis, is like, what, if I'm God, why does everything seem so far away from me? And it's a long, drawn out answer to that question, but the simple way to find the answers to this stuff is by releasing, right? Just practicing letting go, just practicing allowing, not holding on to anything. One of the best ways you can do this is the, floating leaf meditation. One of my friends told me about this the other day, which is that you just imagine your thoughts like leaves, floating on this river, and you attach to none of them. Some of them might get stuck a little bit easier than others, but eventually they're just going to flow on by. And so why try to attach yourself to? Why put all of this excess importance on each one of these floating leaves, right? It doesn't really make any sense. Just be the river. Just be the surrounding nature. Just breathe the air, right? Don't hold on to any of it. Just become aware and realize that there is this infinite abundance around you. And once you can see it, then you can start welcoming it. And so as it pertains to these situations that are really, really challenging, right? The situation like my friend was in, where he was, breathing in this mold on a regular basis and felt like his mind was completely out of his control, right? Well, by going out and trying to do more, trying to force change externally, things, didn't really work out. In fact, it seemed like there was even more challenge because now his mind was in resistance to the situation, right? And so what if he had just let go? What if he had just released and said, this is just how things are, right? Become aware, watched his mind as it went, into complete chaos, right? That's kind of a beautiful experience to me. And so I think this is a lot of stuff that people can't really understand when their intention behind all of this work is to get external results, right? Just being in the human experience and watching this movie as it plays by, right? That's powerful. That's super powerful. And remember, right, this life is temporary. And the more that you can do that, the more that you can release, the more that you can just be, be an observer, watch the movie as it plays out, right? You don't always have to be the main character. I think that's kind of counter to what a lot of people talk about is, be the main character of your movie. Sometimes it's okay to just sit back and be like, well, if this is my movie, like, I'm just going to watch it, And so, complex stuff, you guys. I think that I don't know if this video is going to be all that useful to you guys that are trying to make these shifts, because what I am saying is just stop. Sometimes you do need to just stop, let go, stop trying so hard, and stop overthinking and stop overanalyzing and stop trying to put all the pieces together. Right? There's a time and a place for that, but sometimes you're just really bringing more resistance in than you are allowing flow. And to get flow, first step is really to accept. And then after you accept, you find that balance, then the intentionality of what you want to create becomes even more powerful because there's not any resistance in your way. But all that being said, if you guys want some help with this stuff, let me know. I do have a meditation that I can send you that is all about letting go and all about transforming your inner state by releasing the tension. And so if you want that, go ahead and comment below and I will send it to you. Actually, what I'm going to do is just put a link and you can click that and get it for yourself. That'll make things a lot easier on me. But until next time, you guys, like this video, share this content if you know somebody that might be struggling with this stuff and want some help just allowing and just being their authentic self and being okay with that. Send that to them. Send this video to them. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell so you know my videos come out. Until next time, much love. Namaste. Have a great day.